Hi Crafty friend, it's me, Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today I'm going to be working with some Stampendous products, a die and 2 stamp sets. Also using my Alta New stamp wheel, some fun inks from Simon Hurley. So we're just going to create a simple but beautiful shaped card today. So I'm starting off with this really fun, well maybe not fun, but elegant, I don't know what the right word for this is, easy to put together die because it is one piece. I love that for quick card making. I think that this would be a really easy card to batch. I popped it on an A2 size card base so you could see what it would be for the size. Now I'm just going to ink up a little bit of the background using Shooting Star, Slippery When Wet, and Guppy. These are dye-based inks from Simon Hurley, and I'm using a Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I find that to be very lovely for blending. I'm not doing a ton of blending today. I just wanted something very bright for the background. So that is going to be created here. I'm just going to talk about what else is in the release from Stampendous. There is a Christmas tree that has a dove, and that dove you can make into a 3D ornament. I don't have that die set with me, but it is rather cool. I will have everything linked from the new release and what I used in this video in the links down below, so you can find those there. And then I am going to use both new stamp sets that came out. There's the Season of Wonder stamp set and also Christmas Blessings. So both stamp sets will be used. So you're going to see here on this video a couple mistakes. So I just wanted to leave some of them in. So you might be encouraged that if you make a mistake when you're crafting, it's going to be fine. So first of all, I could not find this star for the longest time, and it somehow got underneath my mat. I went ahead and die cut out a gold star for my project. I'm telling you, I was looking for like a half an hour for that star. But luckily I found it. To make this shaped card, I'm going to use the bigger die from this set and just nestle it down into the bottom left-hand corner of a card base that's already put together. And I'm using the side of the die on the hinge of the card. So this will be able to be opened once I have run it through my die cutting machine. So you can see there, it fits perfectly behind the panel that I inked up, and I can open it up. Really simple, but you can do that with literally any shaped die and make shaped cards. I think that to me this is the easiest way to make shaped cards, but there are other methods out there. But this one I like. So I am going to put a stamp set inside the card. I don't do that too often, but both of the stamp sets from this new release from Stampendous are full of really beautiful sentiments and longer sentiments. So I chose a sentiment that had 4 lines, I think, to pop into this card. Even if you already have your Christmas cards made, this stamp set to me is a really great one to pick up because you can go ahead and batch stamp a whole bunch of these insides and have them all good to go. Sorry I put it so low on the frame here, but when I'm stamping, sometimes I just need to get my head over it, and yeah. I needed to double stamp, which is my nightmare when crafting happens. I cannot stand when I have to double stamp because I'm just not good at it. But for whatever reason, it worked out this time, so mistake number 1. Alright, for the front of my card, I wanted to use the sentiment that was very simple that said Merry Christmas. So I just took my anti-static tool from a rabbit hole and put it on the bottom. Then I'm going to take some clear embossing ink, like so, grab my sentiment, stamp it out. This is my second mistake, y'all. It gets crooked. Don't worry. We're going to make it work. Oh, so good. Nope. It's crooked. So I tried rubbing it off with my hand. It did not work. Okay, so I took a towel with a little bit of moisture, just a tiny bit of water, nothing crazy. And then I tried wiping that off. In a way, I am so sorry if you hear like engines or motorcycles in the background. I feel like this is maybe the last hot week of summer and people are living it up outside. I am not doing that because it is too hot for me to enjoy outside right now. Okay, moving on back to the card. I grabbed a piece of black scrap paper and grabbed my anti-static tool yet again. And I'm going to stamp just onto the scrap and then just take a little bit of a paper trimmer and cut my sentiment down to size. I think that once it's on my card base, it won't even be a big deal. Hello, you can see me in the little ink block. Very, very attractive, I tell you. Sometimes the angles on these are just horrendous. Moving along, I'm going to go ahead and take some white embossing powder and use my heat tool. And when I was filming this, I almost burned my nail, so that was also another fail. This card just was not wanting to come together, but I was persistent and made it happen. I just love white embossing powder sentiments on any color cardstock. I think it looks so elegant and it just looks finished very nicely. And how satisfying is it to see that embossing powder melt? So good. That was really fast. I'm going to go ahead and tape down my first panel right onto my shaped area. I have been using this double-sided adhesive tape rolls like nobody's business. These are super cheap. I get them on Amazon. And like I said, they're cheap. And they're just attaching paper, so it doesn't have to be fancy. Unlike my liquid glue choice, which I need it to be barely art because maybe I'm spoiled that way. But it's good glue. So I'll just stick that right onto my shaped card piece. Very simple. I just wanted to make sure it was going to line up very well. And it does. Give it a little press. My ink was a little wet, so I didn't want to forcefully pinch anything too much. Then I'm going to grab my Barely Art liquid glue and put it behind this panel. I really wanted to do some watercolor backgrounds with this die set. I think that it would be really neat to do some really cool toned backgrounds. I know I chose kind of a yellowy orange vibe for this card, but I have the die. I can make more of these, so I think, like I said before, this would be a really great one to batch out Christmas cards. And if you need to make a whole bunch of Christmas cards, you could make a lot of them rather quickly by batching out the ink blending, the die cutting, the assembly. Maybe even get some of your family members involved. I know it's always so fun to craft with others, so maybe make a little day out of it. That would be fun, huh? Okay, this piece goes on top of the bigger piece and it leaves a border around the edge. So I just wanted to make sure that I did not justify it to one side or the other. So once again, it's nice to have that liquid glue kind of give me a second of wiggle room. We'll just press it down gently. And then I'm going to pop this sentiment on top of my oops mess up from before. And I did end up editing it out of the video, but when I even cut my sentiment, it ended up being crooked. But it does not matter because on the finished product, you really don't see it. At least I'm going to choose to not see it. Next, I'm going to take some foam and pop up my star just as a finishing dimensional look. So let me know what you thought about this card by commenting in the comments section of this video. I would love to see your creations. So connect with me on social media. I have all of that linked below, as well as 600 other videos over on my YouTube channel here. So there's bound to be something for you to craft along with me. And I hope that you can join me later this month. I'm going to be having a live event with Melanie Smith and we're going to be doing some BetterPressing. So stay tuned for details on that. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, crafty friend.